Hello again YouTube, how's life treating you? Elite Legionarii here, and I'm bringing you a 4-player free-for-all for Rome Total War. Today I am in command of the Britannia, and my army consists of 6 units of gold, and I think it's 1 experience. No, sorry, wait a minute. The rules were 30. It was 30,000 per person, so most of my army's actually maxed out. So it's 6 units of maxed out chosen swordsman, 2 units of maxed out barbarian warlord, 4 units of maxed out barbarian cavalry mercenaries, and 4 units of gold tax slingers. So over here, the Seleucid player has 6 units of gold attack cataphracts. I think it's about 6 units of gold attack silver shield pikes, and about 3 or 4 units of, I think it's gold attack again, with silver shield legionnaires and a gold attack general's armoured bodyguard. All in all, his opponent has gone super spam, urban style. Big surprise there. This guy was the host, and he hosted it, and he made it 30k, and he chose Julii straight away. I should have seen this coming. When someone makes huge money and choose Rome, you can expect urban spam right away. It stinks of it. So anyway, he's got 6 units of gold and 2 experience, I think, on these Urban Cohort, which makes them pretty much demigods. 6 units of gold and 2 experience Praetorian Cav, so pretty much the same thing. So he's pretty much invincible. He's got a thing of incendiary pigs, so I'm assuming he must have suspected that the Seleucid player would have elephants, which he doesn't. And for some reason the Seleucid player's army has very little upgrades, so did he not spend all his money or something? Because he's going to get owned. No, I'm not being mean to him or anything, but he's just going to get destroyed by these. He also has 3 arch units, I forgot to mention. This Roman army is so much more powerful than his. So anyway, these cataphracts are usually a lot better than these Praetorians, but they've got so many more upgrades, and they're going to have a slight height advantage here that these cataphracts are going to get smashed. So anyway, my opponent, Kosher Cold, who is the Scipii Romans, was a much more sporting player and chose legionary cohorts and first cohorts, I guess, and so on. But again, very few upgrades, and he also got a ton of triarii, which was an odd choice, but it kind of serves him well considering I have 8 cavalry units, so he's actually turned out to be a wee bit fortunate in his choice there. But generally I would not advise this sort of army unless you know you're going to be facing a lot of cavalry. The rules were, I don't think there were any rules. Wait, no, sorry, it was CWB, but there was lots of money. So this guy's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he's got 7, 8, 9 units of 10 units of triarii, so he's thoroughly broken CWB, and about 4 units of early legionary first or legionary first cohorts, a bit of a mix up of both, and he's got some archer auxilia. But again, big army, very few upgrades, and in my opinion that's never a good choice. But I'm surprised that he chose so many triarii. He's got tons of upgrades on these triarii, his general's bodyguard unit, which was triarii. But in regular Rome Total War, triarii are only good as spearmen, so he's not made a very good choice of army. So my opponent's not going to be overly difficult, I don't think. I've got a hell of a lot of upgrades as opposed to him who doesn't. His army's a lot bigger than mine. But as you can see over here, these cataphracts got murdered only because of upgrades, otherwise it would have been a very different story. These Urbans will just absolutely decimate these silver shield pikemen. There is no chance for them. None whatsoever. As you can see, these cataphracts also get murdered. Again, upgrades is vastly different. Look at this. these silver shields are in defeat. And look at this, they get tapped from the side, and they're no doubt going to give away any minute now. Wavering.
You have killed the enemy general. Now his men show fear. Now they may turn and run. Attack! Attack!
So, as you can see, a cavalry unit, even though it got a side hit, just destroyed a pike unit. So, you watch this. Peeler will absolutely decimate them, and you just wait and see how quickly these guys go down. I need to keep an eye on my game because I'm getting quite close. So I'm going to charge my dudes in. I'm going to send a few around each side. So I get them in here. But he's got this somewhat new box type formation, which is a strange choice. I don't know why people get obsessed with this formation. It's really no good unless the enemy's got no missile units at all. And even then it's not that great. So immediately his units just start to rout pretty much straight away. I'm looking for ways to get my cav and my chariots in, but I have to be careful because it's got a lot of Triario, like I said. But as you can see, I'm making very short work of him. Again, a very strange army. I mean, I have no problem with people experimenting with different units, it's fine, but relying on Triario as your main infantry is weird. As much as I like Triario, which I do, it's never a good idea to use them as your main infantry. So anyway, he sends more of his Triario in to match my chosen swordsmen. Obviously my chosen swordsmen are going to absolutely clean them up. I send all these my mercenary light cav round, and I'm going to hammer and anvil him there. I'm sending these units up. I'm a bit sluggish. I think when I double click them, I must have clicked them twice over and it just caused them to walk. I'm sending my light cav units to mop up his archers. Meanwhile my slingers are just, I turn them off fire because I hit my men a wee bit there. But his legionaries are getting cleaned by my cav and my chosen swords. It's just, as I said, a very strange selection of men, but I managed to do a pretty decent job of cleaning up this Scipio player. So as you can see, it's just me mopping up. So let's have a wee look, see what's happened to it.
No, a coward chase.
So as was to be expected, there was virtually no casualties on the Roman player's side, and as you can imagine, I am pretty much expecting to die at this point because I only have 2 chariots, which did take a few casualties from his archers and his Triarii against all those. And all the guys are the weakened light cavalry units against those practically non-weakened, fully upgraded Praetorian cav. I am not going to be able to stop that. So again, you're going to see the overpowered and irritating use of Urban and Praetorian spam. But here I'm going to surround this unit of Triarii, which is his general. And it's actually, I got my cav a bit caught up in it there, which was not the idealist thing. And they didn't do that much casualties, but so all in all, I cleaned my opponent up pretty easily, and well, this was obviously going to be a shoo-in victory for the Roman player. Oops, I've lost our fight. There it is. So let's just speed it up. So unfortunately, there's always a few people who they choose these armies repetitively, and it's kind of it's just frustrating, you know. I've played people several times in a row, and they just repeatedly use this army over and over and over and over again. You know, it's just, okay, it's a very good army, but I wish people would expand, you know, and try some different stuff.
Enemy flee from the field like frightened goats. Hunt them down and slay them all.
So my opponent goes down pretty easily. I take very little casualties from this fight. I take a few of my cavalry departments simply because he had so many Triarii, it was hard to find an entrance. but as you can see, most of these casualties are Roman in nature, but I've taken enough casualties to make my chances of fighting this Roman army pretty bleak. But anyway, he immediately decides he's going to go and camp on this hill, which I thought was really annoying considering how powerful his army is. So anyway, I'll just keep speeding it up because all we do is just move out over to this other position over here. But anyway, I probably lost a few casualties here in this hammer and anvil attempt because these are only light cav. The reason I chose all these light cav is because I didn't want to spam chariots, because if I had spammed chariots in this battle, I bet you I could have beaten this Roman player, because chosen swordsmen can hold their own against Urban Cohort for enough time, but if I'd had enough chariots I could have cleaned up these Praetorian cav and then hammer and anvil, and that would have been the end of it. I have a video there where I show you a British army beating a urban spam down, only because the chariots can do so much damage to their cav. But I refuse to use chariot spams as well, because again it's just too overpowered and unbalanced. There are several units I won't use, and that's simply Urban Cohort in mass. I'll use them in small amounts. I will never use berserkers because they are absurd. I can actually show you how absurd they are at some point. And I might use 1 or 2 chariots like I have in this fight, but I'll never use more than about 2 or 3, because otherwise it's just really, really unfair. So I decide to come down. I do convince him to come down because he's pretty much got the shoe-in victory, because he's got our infantry are, well, his infantry are better and he's got more of them in better condition than mine, so I doubt mine will be able to hold. I've got some missile units, but these slingers are not really going to be much value, but I'm going to attempt to sling them around the back. But it's his cavalry are so much more powerful than mine, and my chariots are few in number and are weakened, so it's unlikely I'm going to win. But I send all my cav this way for, I hope to do a decisive bit of damage over there. But it's looking pretty bleak for me right now. I mean, if I'd had some heavy cav units, if I could get some, I mean, I might have had a show. Like I said, if I had all chariots, I would easily win this fight, because chariots are so devastating against cavalry. But as I said, I just don't like to do that. But as you can see, he's got more. He's probably got about the same amount of cavalry, but his cavalry are that much better than mine. But anyway, we decide to get the action going in a minute. So here you go. We'll charge to each other, but I get my chariots in here, but like I said, I'm going to get smoked. I do it right over here. I'm going to charge my swordsman up because I need to, but as you can see, I've totally gotten pretty much creamed.
Lord is a cowardly old woman, not concerned with dying like a warrior. He runs.
So, as can be said, his cavalry is so much better than mine. My infantry are inferior as well, but they can hold, and a couple of them are actually get some wins down. I intercept this unit of Urban Cohort over here. I'm shooting the flanks of these Urban Cohort here, and it's only working to balance the battle. So as you can see, a reliable unit to take on Urban Cohort is Chosen Swordsman, but they will eventually lose the fight if you don't quickly get some success in the flanks and stuff. So even though these Urbans are getting wasted by stones, they're still winning, and my men just start to mass rout under the pressure of fighting Urban Cohort, which are much stronger in the long run. So so this free-for-all and the one I did before is Pontus, basically a show of the overpoweredness of Urban Cohort, and you know, even if I use good tactics, I'll still likely lose to them, simply because, you know, how they are. But All in all, it was a good game. Everyone played fairly, and there was no bad talk or anything. It was a good game. I just wish sometime people would just endeavour not to use Urban Cohort and Praetorian spam. It's all I like to see happen. So as you can see, I admit defeat because I just don't want to muck them around because that would be annoying. If this had been scored res, I think I would have won because I used a much weaker army than the Roman player, but it was not, so he wins. But it's a pretty close game. He only had about 300 more kills than me. We cleaned up our opponents pretty easily, but then again our opponents strangely had much weaker armies than we did. I don't know what the deal was there. We all had the same amount of money. So I think that's just another case of smaller upgraded armies are much better than bigger non-upgraded armies. So I had 1,203 men, I got 1,813 kills and I had 261 men remaining. These guys didn't do this so great. He had but Tank 12, who was the Julii player, had 841 men, he got 2,175 kills and he had 521 men remaining. So both times you see the supremely powerful Urban Cohort win them a lot of battles. But as you can see, all of my units performed. Even my slingers did pretty good, but my mercenary cav did really good. So it's good to see those light cav units get some nice kills in there, as did my chariots. So all in all guys, I hope you enjoyed it. There's a couple of defeats. I noticed I hadn't had a lot on my channel and I didn't want to make it seem like I wasn't willing to upload defeats, so here's a couple in, just recent days. So I will bring a few of them here and there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you next time.